in our country and the world.
Well, I'm optimistic. But in explaining my optimism, I got to tell you another story.
Okay.
And this comes from the great film and book, The Flight of the Phoenix. And for your listeners who have not ever seen or read the story, there's two versions of it. The original one with Jimmy Stewart is about this plane that's flying over the Sahara and crashes, and there's no one coming to save them. And Jimmy Stewart is the pilot. He walks around the plane and determines that the plane will never get off the ground. It's too badly damaged. So the challenge for the survivors is this. They can sit around and wait to be rescued, which may or may not happen. The second is that they can try walking out of the desert, even though it's a very long distance. And then there's a third option that emerges. There's a German engineer on the plane who walks around and says, you know what? We have the material and the basics to create a new plane. And that's what they set about doing. We're at a point in the labor movement where the plane that we've been flying is stuck in the desert. It's not taken off. And many of the leaders believe that it's okay to sit around and wait and we'll be saved. There are others that think they can walk out of the desert on their own. You know, their individual unions, they'll figure out a way to get to the oasis. And then there are other people that are saying, now, wait a minute, we actually have the parts here where a new plane could be created. And it's not going to look like the old plane, but it will draw from the old plane and it will include some other things. In this case, the plane would include organizations like the New York Taxi Workers Alliance, the National Domestic Workers Alliance. Mm-hmm. It would include worker centers that are legally not classified as unions, but are part of the labor movement. And so in that setting, you're actually talking about the emergence of a phoenix bird, right? Our movement will be that phoenix bird that rises out of the ashes. So I'm optimistic because there are people that hold to that view throughout the movement. Some of them are rising into positions of power. And what they have to keep in mind is that the future is not in the past.
And that's a really important statement you just made. And what I would love to do is continue this discussion with you and others, Jay McAlevey and others, and kind of really build a discussion nationally for people to talk about how you do what you're saying just now, to rebuild the unions, because that's where the power is going to be. That's what we're missing in this country right now in terms of resistance to all that's being pushed on us in this country.
Indeed.
So, Bill Fletcher, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I thank you so much for taking your time with us today here at The Real News.
My pleasure. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Always good to see you. And I'm Mark Steiner here for The Real News Network. Thank you all for joining us. Take care.